Yep, I heard that.
Okay, there it is. Well, I guess we're recording now, so we should start. So I hope everyone's doing good. Before I get started in the first topic, you know that Apple just released iOS 15 and a whole line of new phones. Not very big news there. That happens every year. But there is some stuff in iOS 15 that might interest you. So one of the things that's out is called live text. And what that is that you can take a picture of text or you can point the camera at something and it'll do like what Seeing AI does. It'll read the text. But what it also does, it allows you to select that text. Or if that text is a phone number or an email, you can tap on that text and actually call that number or email that. Or you can take the text out and put it into an email or Word or a document or something. So it's a really nice feature. And that's in the iOS 15 release, just released yesterday by Apple. Now, the good news is that it's there. The bad news is that you got to have an iPhone 10 or newer to use that feature because of the requirements of the CPU. Older iPhones don't have the horsepower to do that. So that's the only problem with live text. That's not going to be available to someone with a phone older than an iPhone 10. So
Manny?
that's basically it. Yeah, go ahead.
It's Maggie.
Hi, Maggie.
I haven't got the notice for the update yet. Is that being held up, or what is going on?
Usually the update will be released by Apple, publicly on the day of release, and then they'll phase you in. They'll let you know, because they don't want everybody hitting their servers at one time, the millions of people who have these iPhones. So what they try to do is they roll them out automatically, let you know in good time. Not too long, but not right away. And you can always,
I just looked if I was having a problem.
No. And then if you really want it though, you just go to General and then Software Update, and then you can force the update. It'll happen right then if you want. I would caution that, Maggie, though, because this is a major release. So when they go from 14 to 15, that's what's called a major release. And you may want to wait till 15.1, which could be a few weeks away, just in case there's any kind of bugs or weirdness. It's been fairly well tested.
Well, I'll let it go, because if I don't have it by the time we meet, then you can see what you can do.
You'll have it before then, yeah. I imagine if it automatically, you'll get it within this week or maybe next week, max. I mean, at the very...
Okay, thank you.
But I caution everybody...
Thank you.
I caution everybody not to jump on a major release right away. I'm pretty sure it's going to be okay, but sometimes they're not, and it could problems for a little bit.
I'll wait for it then. I just worried that something was wrong.
Oh, no problem. The other big thing that's happening in iOS 15 that's relative to us is, the FaceTime app. What they've done with that is they've actually made it to where you can invite people who do not have Apple products. Like if someone has an Android phone, you can send them a link and then they can open it up in a browser and join your FaceTime call. So that's kind of cool, because before you do that. And, there's a lot of odds and ends. There's a thing called Focus, which I won't get into right now. That's a real big thing. And some other little things. But I think that really covers it for us, stuff that's really specific to what we're interested in. And they got the usual lineup. They have the iPhone 13 Max Pro, which is their expensive one, all the way down to the SE, which is their least expensive one. But they're all very good phones, and they're all got the latest hardware in them. So they'll run everything that 15 has to offer and more. And the good thing about Apple too is that when you buy an Apple, I'm not a salesman here, but when you buy an Apple, Barbara's got an SE, the very first SE, and she'll be able to update that phone. And that phone was released 7 years ago. If you owned an Android, you'd be lucky to get 2 or 3 years of updates out of that, if that. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of nice that we're still getting updates on the older models. So to get the latest functionality. Okay, that's kind of what I had for just the beginning stuff, news and housekeeping. So it's going to head on over to the first thing. Let me just scroll down here a second. And oh yeah, so remember last time we had the class, I said we were going to talk about this thing called iCloud Keychain. That is what's called a password manager. And in this day and age, that's becoming a very important piece of software that you should very much consider, because our old habits with passwords, using the same password for everything, or using passwords that are easily guessed, that's gonna get us in trouble. So this thing will help us mitigate or solve this problem. So the Keychain app, what it does is it stores your credentials and your passwords for any websites you get on. And I think it even extends to applications too. But we'll just talk about websites for now to make it simple. So if you turn this on, and I'm going to show you guys how to do this. If you turn this on and you have got it running and you log into a website like, let's say, Amazon, for the first time, and you put your credentials in, you'll get a little box from Keychain that says, do you want to store this information in your keychain? And if you say yes, then it will store it. And the next time you visit the site, it'll autofill that information for you. You don't have to remember a password. And the other thing that it does too, besides managing your passwords, it can suggest strong passwords that it can keep track of. So instead of putting in something like, I don't know, your pet's name, that someone could guess, or some easy password, it can put in this long gobbledygook password that no one could ever guess, and it'll manage that for you. So you don't have to remember all these passwords anymore. Now, the good part of that is if all you use are Apple devices, you're set. But if you log into a service from, let's say, your Windows machine or your Fire TV, that iCloud keychain doesn't extend to that. So that's the catch-22 here. It only works on Apple devices. So you got to figure out how you want to do that if you want to use it. And then, so I was going to do an example of how to do this. So I'm going to go into Safari, and I'm going to open up Amazon, okay? And I've already got it saved. My password's there. So when I go there, I'll let you guys hear what it says, and you'll see how it works. Okay, so I'm going to open my phone up.
6:48 p.m.
Can everybody hear me okay before I continue? Are you guys okay?
Can hear you.
Turn up the cell phone.
Okay, all right, I'll do that. Let me turn up my cell phone a little bit then.
Tap C. Tap
Is
C.
that better?
Right.
Tap C.
Okay, sorry about that.
Double
Okay.
tap to open.
Okay, so I'm going to go into Safari.
Safari. Safari.
Now, one of my bookmarks is called Amazon.com. So I'm going to go in there. It shows on the very front page of Safari. So I'm going to go there to my bookmark.
Amazon.com. Online shop. Amazon. Open menu.
Okay.
Button. Navigate.
So I'll skip all of the fields and just get right to the heart of this. So we have to log in. So I need to go find the field where I put my username and password. So let me do that.
Sign in for the best experience. Sign in button.
So they got a sign in button on the very first screen. I'm going to tap on that.
Need help? Web page loaded.
And I'm going to go to the field where I have to put in my user ID, which is basically my email address. Now, Keychain is going to have that stored for me. So when I get there, I'm going to show you what it says. Okay, so let me get over to that field.
Create account. Sign in. Customer.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Oh,
Sign in. App underscore I underscore email underscore or underscore phone. Text field.
okay. I'm in the text field. Now, when I'm there, normally a keyboard would come up, but when you have Keychain active, this is what comes up at the bottom. I'm just going to have it say it to us. So here's what it says.
Log into Amazon.com.
So it's asking me a question. Do I want to log into Amazon.com? And if I swipe to the right, my right, one time, it's going to suggest the username. So let me do that.
Use opening double quotation mark theomini@gmail.com. Button.
So I'm going to tap on that to save me from typing it in or whatever. So I'm going to do that.
Opening Face ID authenticated. Safari. Address.
Now, when I do that, when I want to use anything out of the keychain, it verifies that I'm me, that I'm not someone else just trying to use my credentials to get in. So it scans my face. It does on mine. It does the Face ID to be sure it's me doing this. Okay, so it then puts in the username, and then the next thing we're going to put in, I think Amazon does a two-step thing where it does the username, and then it goes to the next screen and we do the password. It doesn't do it all on one screen. So we're on the second screen now. I'm going to do that now.
Amazon password. Amazon password. Secure insertion. Log into Amazon.com.
So, and then I get the same prompt, except I'm doing the password this time. So I swipe to the right.
Use opening double quotation mark theomini@gmail.com. Button.
So I'm going to use that username.
Alert. Try face not
I
recognized.
got to put my face in front of it so it knows it's me. Let me do it again.
Try face ID again.
What if you don't have a Face ID?
15%.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. I'm sorry.
What if you don't have Face ID?
Well, whatever you have, if it's Touch ID, but you'll have to have some way of letting Keychain know that it is you doing it and not somebody else who has your phone. It has to have that verification. So
Okay.
what I did is I tap, right now I tapped on the same thing I tapped on the first time. It then stuck the password in there and logged me into Amazon. And now I'm in Amazon. And I didn't have to remember any passwords or anything. Keychain did it for me. So that's what's kind of nice.
You don't have to remember anything to get into Keychain?
No, that's what's great about it. Once you turn it on, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Once you turn it on, it's kind of automatic, and you can set it up to automatically store stuff. If you decide not to use the password for Amazon that's stored, you can just swipe a little further down and get the keyboard and type in the password you want. And the cool thing is, Keychain will detect that. It'll say, do you want to update the password you have stored with the one you just typed? And you go, yeah, let's do that. And it'll keep that new one in there for you for the next time. So it's a really good integrated system. And usually these password managers for other platforms would cost you a good amount of money. Not a good, it'll cost you some money to actually use them. And they wouldn't work on every device. Not like this, because this is integrated into your Apple phone or tablet or your Mac computer. So it's a really cool thing that you may want to try out. Now, you're probably wondering, well, how do I get this nice feature? Well, let me show you. So I'm going to close out of Safari and show you. There's a couple of things you have to know about this. So, did somebody say something? I'm sorry. Okay. All right. So the first thing you got to do is you have to go into your settings.
Settings.
Okay, and at the very top of the settings is your name. You're going to go into that. Okay, so I'm going to type on. I want to tap on my name.
Monwell set.
I'm going to tap on that.
Edit.
And then you're going to go down to iCloud, because that's where this stuff is being stored. So we go to iCloud.
iCloud button. Storage. Heading. Apple ID. Storage. Heading. Manage storage. Apps using iCloud. Heading. Photos. Mail. Contacts. Calendars. Reminders. Notes. Messages. Off.
Let me find that
Double tap to
setting
toggle
here.
setting. Rows 23 to
Wow.
31. Rows 3 to 11 of 39.
Uh,
Manage storage. Photos. On. Button. Rows 4 to 12 of 30. Rows 18 to 20. Rows 24 to voice memos. Rows 29 to my human. Rows 32 to 39 of rows 32. Look me up. Zoom. On. Rows 26 to 33 of 39.
I'm looking for it. Hang on. Let me go back one.
Apple ID. Apple subscriptions. iCloud. Media and purchase it. Find my family sharing. Learn more. Subscriptions. Button. Password and security.
I'm sorry. It's under password and security. I goofed. So let me just go there.
Password and security.
I think.
Button. Rows 1 to 7 of 18. Payment and shipping. Password and security. Name. Phone number. Payment and shipping. Password and security. Button. Selected. Password and security. Change password. Button.
All right.
Apple ID. Apple.
Well, let me go to the other piece first because I'm having trouble getting into mine here in front of everybody. So let me go to the other piece. So the other piece of this, and we'll come back to this, is in Safari.
Settings.
Go back.
Manuel sellers.
So we're going to go to
Apple ID.
Safari. I'm going to go down there.
Rows 27. Safari. Search. Heading. Siri and search. Button.
So it's down here under.
Safari suggestion. Quick website. Preload. About general. Autofill. Button.
So autofill is what you're looking for under Safari. So we go there.
Autofill. Button. Automatically fill out web forms using your contact or credit card info.
So don't be alarmed with the credit card piece. That is a separate piece of this autofill that you can turn on or off. I currently have it turned off. I only want it to keep my passwords for my websites. I don't want to put my credit cards. I'm not that brave yet to do that. So how it works. So you need to create a contact card for yourself with as much information as possible. So you have your first name, your last name, your phone number, your email, and then your physical address, because there are some forms on the web that will ask you for what city you live in or what zip code. And this will respect that and pull it and put it in there. So that's how you do that. So let me go down here and take a look at this real quick.
Use contact info. On.
So you would turn this
Double
use
tap to toggle.
contact info on, and it'll ask you to select a contact, and you'll have one. I've got one called Manny Solis, a contact with just my stuff in it. And that's what it's using to autofill things. Now, let's get back to the keychain piece, because these two are related, because autofill and keychain work together to autofill your credentials, but you can also autofill addresses and email and phone numbers and things like that. So let's get back to where I was before.
Safari.
Let's go back up.
Autofill. Button. Settings. Back. Setting. Notes. Rows 9. Rows 11. Rows 4. Rows 1 to 6. Manuel Celis. Edit.
Okay.
Name. Password. Payment. Ship. iCloud. Media and iCloud. Button.
I think it's in keychain right there. And I'll go
iCloud.
iCloud.
Storage. At Apple ID. Photos. Mail. Contact. Calendar. Remind. Note. Messages. Safari. News. Stocks. Home. Health. Wallet. Game set. Siri. Keychain.
Right there.
On.
Okay. So
Button.
let's see here.
iCloud backup. On. Keychain.
So keychain
On.
is in.
Button.
I couldn't find it before because I forgot where it was. So you go into your name, then you go into iCloud, and then you scroll down to keychain. It's like down in the middle of the screen. It should be at the top, but it's not. So I'm going to tap on keychain.
Keychain on. iCloud keychain
So
on.
here's the explanation of keychain.
Double tap. iCloud keychain keeps the passwords and credit card information you save up to date on the devices you approve. Your information is encrypted and cannot be read by Apple.
Okay, so that's kind of where that's at. That's how that is turned on. It's just a switch you turn on. Once you turn it on, keychain automatically starts working. So I hope I didn't confuse people by bouncing back and forth, but there is an autofill thing and a keychain thing that works together to make your experience easier. So is there any questions about keychain thus far? Okay, let's see here. Okay, so that's basically it for keychain. Now, if you wanted to go in, there's one more thing. If you want to go in and see the passwords that you're keeping, well, you can't see the passwords, but you can delete them, like the ones that you don't want anymore. There's a thing in here called passwords and security.
Apple ID. Apple ID.
And don't worry, I'm going to write all this down on the notes because it's probably a lot to throw at you here, not knowing how to use it at all. There's like 3 sections already. But so in passwords and security, there's going to be
settings.
let me go down here.
Settings. Airplane mode. Wi-Fi.
It's down here a little bit.
4 to 13. Sounds and do not. Screen time. General. Control. Display and home screen. Accessible. Wallpaper. Siri answer. Face ID. Emergent. Exposure note. Battery. Privacy. App Store. Wallet and Apple Pay. Passwords.
I think that's in here. Passwords. So go here.
Passwords. Select. Alert. Face ID. Face ID authentic.
So in here, it's storing all of the passwords that keychain is managing. So it's under passwords. And then like if I wanted to see, I don't know, like my Amazon, it's right here.
Amazon.com. Iranani@gmail.com.
So
actions available.
you can go in and you can delete these. And then next time you're at the site, keychain will ask you to store it as a new password or a new entry. So you can manage the list that keychain references right here. And it will require that you have Touch ID or Face ID, or you have some kind of credentials when you log into your system. It's got to verify you're you, because this is kind of a sensitive area of the phone. So that's basically it for that. It's just a keychain, managing passwords and filling information, and then creating the contact card. And then of course you can manage the actual passwords and themselves in this whole password settings area. So and again, the pros of it are if you're using just Apple devices and you approve these devices, keychain will automatically store your passwords across devices. So if I log into Amazon on my phone and I go to my iPad or my computer and I want to log into Amazon, well, the same password will get used on that device too. It'll look at the same one, and it'll allow you to not have to worry about it anymore. So that's kind of it for keychain. I would definitely give it a try. And any questions, just call me on the side or email me. I'll do my best to be clearer in the email. So, all right. So if that's it, I'm going to move on to the next thing. Let's see. Okay, this one we talked about before, but we never really tried to use it. And do you remember when we talked about the Sunban application? That's
Yes.
the one. Yeah. Okay. So you can book rides on Sunban just like if you called somebody. The difference being that you can only get a human being on the phone up until 4 o'clock if you want to book a ride. With the app, you can use it after 4. However, you won't be able to book a ride for the next day after 4 o'clock, regardless. So if you log onto the app at 4:01 and you want to book a ride for tomorrow, it ain't going to happen. You're going to have to go the day after, just like with the people. So the app gives you that option. So if you're wanting to book a ride, you can do it anytime. So that's kind of what it is. It's just a ride booking thing. And when you book a ride, you're going to book each leg of a ride. So, when you call these guys, the people who create the rides for you, and you say, I need to get a ride to Barbara's house, it all seems like one thing. It's one call, but they're actually booking two rides, just like you would on a plane. They're booking the way there and they're booking the way back. And that's something to remember when we're doing this, because we're going to have to book two rides to do one round trip, because it's not just one ride. Anyway, if there's no questions, I'm going to start this process. So let me go into it.
App switch settings active. Safari closing Safari
All right.
settings. Safari.
So I'm going to try to do this without invoking a Siri, so I don't trigger everybody's phones. So I'm going to go to the icon.
Page 2 of 3. FaceTime. Page 3 of 3. My Cloud. Sunvan.
So the app is called Sunvan.
Double tap to open. Sunvan. Loading.
Okay. So when you first get the app, when you first download it, you got to go through this whole enrollment process. And that requires a number from the ADA. Forget what they call that number.
Client ID.
Client ID. So a client ID is just a numeric, like a 6-digit numeric number, or 5, 6, whatever it is. And they will give that to you. And that's what you need to enroll. So you have to enroll first. Once you do the enrollment process, then we can do what we're doing tonight, which will be booking a ride. So I'm going to book one for Thursday. I actually have to do this because I need to do the ride. So it kind of is serendipitous that we're doing this, because I need to do it anyway. So I'm going to go in. So the app's open. I have to log in. It automatically stores my client ID, but I need to supply my password. So let me go in there.
Password star. Secure text field. List insertion point end. Password star.
So I'm going to
secure text field.
type that in.
Shift. Cap R.
So they can hear it. So
Hey, we're all gonna do it.
write it down, everybody. Book rides for me.
Numbers.
That's the nice thing about VoiceOver. Let's see. I think that's the password. So let me try that.
Toolbar. Done. Done.
So we sign
Password
in.
star. Sign in. Button. Loading. Error. Heading level 2.
Oh boy.
Error. Could not log you in. Okay. Button. Sign in.
Let me try it again.
Password star. 8 cap.
Now this is, I noticed with the Sunvan program, by the way, that keychain doesn't work with it. Now I think what's happening, because it's supposed to work with apps too, is that the persons who architected this app, the software engineers, they have to signify certain elements. I don't know how to say this in English. The things that are under the covers here have to be lined up so that keychain can recognize what is a username and a password. For us, it's easy because it says it, but for a computer, it's got to be stated in a different way, and it's got to know. So maybe that's what's happening here. Maybe this is one of the troubles with this app. It's not notifying keychain that this is a password field, even though it's telling us, VoiceOver is telling us that. The system doesn't know that. So I think that's why this is not working with keychain.
Manny.
Yeah.
This is Gina. I tried to get in to Sunvan this afternoon, and they told me that the app wasn't working today.
Oh, really?
So I don't know if that might be, that might be part of your problem.
Oh, thank you. Well,
It's
let me
not
try it
you, it's
again.
the app.
I'm going to try it again because I really wanted to show you guys how to do this. Because I did a few last week and it works actually, but it's not that easy. It's not as easy.
Password star.
When you can get in.
End.
I'm sorry?
I said if you can get in, it works.
Yeah, let me give it another shot here.
Shift. Cap R. H. O.
Okay.
Manny,
A.
that
Yeah.
number that they need to call is 791-5409
Okay,
to get your client number.
that's right. Thank you, Barbara. I forgot about that.
Numbers.
All right, let me try this one.
2.
And
Symbols. Underscore.
try
Toolbar.
that.
Done. Passwords. Sign in. Sign in. Stop loading. Error. Heading level 2. Okay. Sign in.
Oh, wait, I goofed on that one. Let me try one more
Password
time, and then if this doesn't
17
work,
characters.
we'll skip to the next thing because I don't want to, bore you guys
Password
with me.
star. 17 insertion point at end. Password star.
Try that
Secure
again.
delete.
All right, now I got it all deleted. Let me try it again.
Shift.
Okay.
O. T. S. Numbers.
Okay. There we go. There.
Symbols.
There.
Underscore. Toolbar. Done. Sign in. Sign in. Stop loading. Error. Heading level 2.
All right.
Okay. Button. Sign in. Button.
I gotta try one more time. Sorry, I'm just a glutton for
Password
punishment.
star. 9 insertion. End. Password star. Delete. Delete.
All right, try it again. Okay.
Shift. A. O. A. D. S. Numbers. 8.
And let's just try that.
Sign in. Button. Sign in. Stop loading. Error. Heading
All
level
right,
2.
I don't know what I'm doing. I obviously don't know what I'm doing. You know
You
what?
think if the system is down, maybe it won't even announce
Yeah.
it?
What I'm going to do is I'm going to skip over this and come back at the end, and let's see if either my brain works better or the system works better. I don't know. So we'll find out. So I'm sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. When I was doing it earlier today, it was fine, but oh well.
Manny,
All right.
it's Annie. I have a question. I'm thinking about keychain.
Oh,
And
yes.
you
okay,
said
yes.
it goes in through Safari. Now, I go into Amazon.com. I have that in Safari. But for the fries, I have the app loaded on the home screen. So it won't work with the app fries on the home screen.
It will depend on the app. It's supposed to work with apps, and it's supposed to work with websites. You just have to try it and see if it actually does it. The technology is not perfect, and app and web designers come in all flavors. They don't always do the correct thing when it comes, relative to passwords and usernames. So it's just a matter. Does the application or the website do it in a compatible way where Keychain can know that is the login screen and know for sure, and then store that stuff for you. That's the issue. But give it a shot. It'll either work or it won't. Unfortunately, I wish I had a better answer for you. But,
And then if it doesn't work in the app, then could I put fries.com as a favorites under Safari?
you could try it that way, because there's always at least 2 ways to get to your stuff. You could do it through the app, or you could do it through Safari. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Because it's a good idea, like I said before, if you can get Keychain to do the work for you and give you good passwords, then you won't get caught. If somebody gets your password somehow and do something bad, you don't want that to happen, because it's a real mess. So anyway, so that's a good question. Thanks. So let me go down here. So we're going to come back to this sunband thing. I really wanted to show this off, and then of course it doesn't work. So we're going to just continue on. Okay. So this is one app that I use a lot, Calendar. I live and die by my calendar, and I don't even know when the last time it was that I tapped on Calendar and went in there and looked at it. I'm always using Siri to add calendar events, to edit calendar events, to delete calendar events. Okay. And the other thing that goes with calendars is alert times. So at the end, I think we went over this before in one of the classes, I'll show you how you get to your alert times where you can set them for like an hour before or 24 hours or a day or two. So really, this is all about learning how to talk to Siri. It's really nothing more than that. So if you want to create a calendar event or an appointment, and these words are synonymous, you can use whichever one you like. You can say, you can tell Siri to create a new appointment or create a new event. It'll do the same thing either way. And then what I do is I tell it, create a new event called Barbara McPherson, okay? And then it'll title the event Barbara McPherson. And then I'll say, it'll ask me what date and time for this event. And I would say next Monday or this Monday, whatever it is, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. And what it'll do is it will create that event with a 2-hour window, blocked out time called Barbara. You can also do things like specify a location, like I could say, let's say, create a new event called Patty Green at Desert Low Vision this Thursday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. And what it'll do, it'll create an event located low vision with that time. That's if you pass it everything it needs to do the appointment in one shot. Otherwise, it'll ask you for the pieces that are missing. But if you don't specify the title right away, it'll put in a blank event. And I don't know why it does that. I think that's kind of a buggy thing. So at a minimum, when you tell it to create an event or an appointment, you should always say create a new event or create a new appointment titled, and then you just fill in the blank, whatever, your doctor's name or whatever it is. And then it'll ask you for the rest of the pieces of information that it needs. And then when you want to go back and edit that event, let's say that I created an event for Barbara for next Monday. And, you know, I goofed on the time. I said 2 to 3 o'clock instead of 1 to 3 o'clock. So what I would do is I would say, Siri, edit event titled Barbara McPherson. And what it'll do is it'll say, what do you want to change? And then you say, I want to change the title, the name of it, or I want to change the date, or I want to change the time, or I want to change the location. You can change any of that stuff. And then it'll ask you for the piece that you need. So if you say change title, it'll get, okay, what's the new title? And you say Barbara and Hunter McPherson. Or if I say I want to change the date, I would say this Tuesday instead of the Monday. And of course, the time, you can put in a single time when it starts, or if it's over an hour, you can specify a beginning and ending time. By default, when you create a calendar event and you put in just a single time, it's going to block out 1 hour for that from the time you put in there to the end. And then lastly, of course, you can always delete events the same way. You could say to Siri, you could say, delete event titled Barbara McPherson. And what it'll say is, are you sure you want to delete event on Monday titled Barbara McPherson? And then you would say yes or no. If you say yes, it'll kill it. No, it'll leave it alone. And you can do this just with your voice. And the key words are create event, edit event, or delete event. And if you do that, you'll never have to pick up the phone or tap on it or anything. You can just do it all that way. So let me demonstrate. So, all right. Let me go here. Let me just, all right.
Sunvan.
All right. So I'm gonna create an appointment for Barbara McPherson this coming Monday. Now, when you say this Monday, that means it's the Monday coming up, not the one that just passed, okay? Next Monday is not the Monday coming up. It's like 2 weeks away, just so you know that. You gotta make sure, because it will put it out in the future further than you think if you say next Monday, meaning this coming Monday, okay? That bit me before, so. All right, so I'm going to create an event for Barbara. So, hey Siri, create event titled Barbara McPherson.
What date and time is this appointment?
This Monday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Your event is scheduled for Monday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. The event is called Barbara McPherson.
Okay. Now, if I wanted to edit that, let's say I want to change the title. I would say, hey Siri, edit event titled Barbara McPherson.
What do you want to change about it?
Title,
What's the new name?
Hunter and Barbara McPherson.
Your appointment called Hunter and Barbara McPherson will be on Monday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Ready to update it?
Yes.
It's on your calendar for Monday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. The appointment is called Hunter and Barbara McPherson.
Well, it's nice. It gives you all that feedback. And then, of course, if I want to delete it, if I want to delete that event, I would just tell it with a delete keyword, the delete verb. So I'd say, hey Siri, delete event titled Hunter and Barbara McPherson.
You want to cancel your appointment with Hunter and Barbara McPherson, called Hunter and Barbara McPherson at 1 p.m. on Monday. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. I took it off your calendar.
Okay. And that's basically how you can keep your calendar updated. You can just use your voice. I didn't have to tap on anything to make that work, or open it up, or go to the day, or anything like that. And you can query your events too. You can say, what are my upcoming appointments? And it'll say those. Again, you can access any appointment by title or by date. You could say edit appointment on September 30th, and it'll if there's more than one, it'll list them. Which one do you want to do? And you'll pick it, and then you'll give it the options. So, any questions on calendars or using your?
Yes, this is Annie.
Hi, Annie.
That, does it automatically delete it after that date? Or does it carry over to the next year? Do you have to do it manually?
There is no automatic deletion typically, but if you want to delete them, you can. But there's no automatic deleting. Normally, it keeps them in there. And
How about if you put the year in with the date?
well, if you specify a year, because it assumes the current year, then that will stay in there. The one thing you can't do though is you cannot use Siri to schedule appointments in the past for some reason. It won't let you do that. But you can only do it for the current date and time in the future. So if you wanted to schedule one in 2022, yeah, you could say that. You could say, September 30th, 2022, and then you could give it time, and then it'll put it in on next year's calendar.
But the one you just scheduled for Hunter and Barbara, when you get past that date, does it still stay there, or is
Yeah,
it
it
gone?
stays in there. Yes.
So
Sorry,
you have to delete it.
if you want to. I think it's most people, I'm not saying that that's right or wrong, they just leave them in there because it's a small amount of information. It's just text. It's not storing like a huge amount of information for each appointment. It's a real small amount. So
But it's important for my appointment with the doctor. If I schedule an eye doctor appointment, and then when I go, I'm going to schedule another one. And if I have 3 or 4 in there, it's going to be confusing.
well, I'm
Do
not
it
sure.
on different dates.
Yeah, but how will I know if I'm having 3 or 4?
It's not going to tell you about the ones in the past. When you say there are upcoming appointments, are you saying like if you have an appointment this month and then you have one next month, that would be confusing? Is that what I'm hearing?
If I get past this month, then is it going to carry it over to next year?
No, I think, no. It only puts it in for the one day. And then when you pass that day, it's gone. It doesn't take it out, but it just stays in the past. It's no longer relevant.
But
And
it
when
won't, if I ask, it won't tell me, Siri, she won't tell me that date.
That's right. No, yeah, it will not. mean,
Because I
if you-
don't want all those appointments. No.
No, yeah, that's a good question, by the way. I didn't catch it. So yes, when you ask Siri about what's coming up or what appointments you have, it's not going to go into the past. You have to really force it to go look in the past. You have to tell it, did I have any appointments last year with Dr. Bob? And then it'll try to look in the past, but typically it won't do that. So,
No, I don't want it to go into the past. That's
Yeah.
gone. What I'm concerned about is when I get into the next year, is it going to carry it over on that date for the next year?
no, it won't. No.
Okay,
There is a thing that you can set up, like if you wanted that behavior, which I'm hearing that you don't, but
no,
if you had something that was a recurring appointment, you can actually go in and you can set up a recurring appointment. Let's say if you had a standing appointment with the doctor for the next 6 months on the third Tuesday of each month, you could have Siri stick all those things in there on a recurring basis, and at the end of the 6 months, it'll stop. But I hear what you're saying. It doesn't carry anything over. Right now, the way we're doing it, it puts it right on that one box in the calendar, and that's it. It does nothing to do with anything else on the calendar, and it goes away, goes into the past once you pass through that day.
okay, so I won't have half a dozen appointments for Dr. Smith in there.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, good question. Thanks.
Good.
Manny, this is
yeah.
Gina. I have a question. What if I wanted birth dates, family birth dates to carry on over into the next year, so I didn't forget what date that was?
Good
How
question.
would I do that?
Good question. So if you want to be reminded of birthdays, the way you do that is you don't use the calendar app. And I know that sounds funny, okay? But what you do, you go into your contacts and you put their birthday in there. Now, in the contact card, you can edit it. So let's say you're editing my contact. Let's say you want to keep track of my birthday, you want to buy me a Rolls Royce or something. So,
Okay.
so you go into my contact and you open it up for editing. So you find Manny Solis, and then the contact card comes up, and then you hit the edit button on the upper right to open it up. And then you swipe down till you get down to add birthday, unless there's one there already. And you tap on that button, and then you can choose the month and the day, and optionally the year. Like if you knew my actual birth year, you could put that in. Otherwise, you can just leave it with the lines, because all it cares about is the month and day. So then you hit done or save or whatever it is. And then when my birthday rolls around, depending on what the alert time that you have it for birthdays are, it could be a week, 2 weeks, it could be a day, it could be the same day, whatever it is. And I can show you how to do that. You will get notified that my birthday is coming up, and then you will you can then figure out what you're going to do. You get a notification, and then that's the way you do birthdays. So
I like it. Okay. Thank you.
yeah, they're not really on your calendar, but they are. They're kind of pseudo entries that are tied to your contacts more so than your calendars. Yeah. So birthdays are kind of like holidays,
Okay.
kind of like that. So your
Okay.
default alert times are in your calendar settings. So you go into the front door settings and you scroll down to calendar, and then you tap on calendar, and then inside calendar, you'll have this thing called default alert times. And then you have one for just regular events like going to the doctor or whatnot. Then you have your birthdays. And then I think the other one is holidays, if I'm not mistaken. There's 3 categories. And each one, you can set an alert time, meaning the amount of time it alerts you before the event happens. So let's say like for your I don't know, your doctors and normal calendar events, the ones that we just went over, telling Siri what to do, those could be set for a day or two or 2 hours before. And then birthdays could be set for a week before. Give you time to go shop or whatever it is, send a card. And then holidays could be anything you want. hey, Lincoln's birthday is coming up or whatever it is. And then you'll get notified that that's, so that's how that works. So good questions. Thanks. So let me
7:30 p.
Let's
Try
go.
again.
let's go over here to my outline and down here. Okay, so if you ever have apps that you want to delete on your phone, let's say you download something and you're tired of it, you can delete apps fairly simply. So let's act like I'm going to delete an app. So the way you do this is you open up your phone,
7:30 p.
okay?
My class.
Now I'm just going to pick one. I think
Double tap to open.
since Sunvan's being mean, I'm going to act like I'm going to delete that one.
Sunvan.
So you
Double tap to open.
with VoiceOver on, you just touch the app that you wanna go to. If you can see it. If not, then you just swipe over to it. Let's say you just put your finger there, you
Messenger.
just swipe over.
Tap weather. Sun. Page 3 of Sunvan.
Sunvan right there.
Double tap to open.
So if I want to open it, of course we double tap with one finger. But if I want to edit the app, meaning I want to either move it around my screen or I want to delete it. In this case, we want to delete. You do a double tap and hold. So I'm going to try that.
Remove app. Button.
So there's a remove app button.
Share app. Button.
I've never done that, so I don't know what that means.
Edit home screen. Button. Dismiss context menu. Button.
So if I say remove app,
Remove app. Button.
I think it gives me one more option of that. I don't want to hit this because I want to keep the app for later when we go over it. But if I hit remove app, I think it's going to give me the last confirmation that says, are you sure you want to delete the app and all of its contents? And if you say, yeah, do it, it'll remove the app and it'll remove any information storing on your phone. It'll get rid of it. Now, if you need it again, all you have to do is download it from the App Store again. So that's something that you can do there. So it's a two finger. It's one finger, tap twice, and on the second tap you hold it and long press, and you'll hear it do a little sound, and then you'll get this menu to delete the application. So
Manny, you can
Yeah.
also just flick your finger up, and one of the
Yes.
options is delete.
yeah, so let me do that too. So you have both ways. That's right. Very good.
Sunvan.
So
Spectrum access. Sunvan.
I'm on Sunvan, right?
Double tap to open.
So I'm going to swipe up with one finger, and I think those options that Barbara said are also available through there. So I'm going to swipe up.
Edit mode. Activate. Edit mode.
So I go to edit mode,
Started editing.
and then
Activate. Default. Drag Sunvan. Delete.
There it is.
so it's kind of so you have to go to edit mode and then swipe up again till you get to delete. And you can also drag it around. Let's say visually you want it in a different place, you can move it around. But that's probably not something we do often here. So.
Finished editing. My class.
But that's how you do that. And then when you're done, if you're done editing, you just do the home gesture or press the home button to get back to get out of editing mode, and you're back to a normal mode. Okay. All right, and then when you delete an app, it does free up space. There is another way that I'm going to talk about when we get to that storage. You can actually take an app and take it offline. Let's say you want to keep the app, but you don't want to lose it, but you want to free some storage. On the when iCloud, you can store the app up there, its stuff, and free the space on your phone if you're getting low on space. But I'm going to show you that when we get to the storage piece. So okay, that's it for deleting applications. So I go there. The other thing you can do with applications, by the way, now that we're talking about apps, before I continue. If you got too many apps and you just want to simplify your screen, it's really good. You can create folders. Create a folder, and you can drag stuff in the folder, and it'll just be one icon. And when you open that folder up, you can see a bunch of the apps in there, and it'll clean up your screen. That's what I like to do. I like to put stuff that I don't use very much into folders and keep the stuff that I use out more. That way I don't have so many screens of icons. No.
I love folders.
Yes, it's a really handy thing. Oh, and here we are, storage settings. But guess what's next? So let's look at that. Let me just make sure deleting it.
Manny, I think people need to know you can't delete an app with Siri.
That's right. Siri is very limited in what it can do, especially when it comes to sensitive information or sensitive things like applications. Because you got to remember, when you get an application from the App Store, you gotta use your thumb or Face ID or put in your password to get it. So you can't just remove it or have Siri just remove it based on a command. You're gonna have to authenticate to do that, and that's kind of why that works that way. Siri is restricted in things it can do like that, especially like contacts and apps and passwords and things of that nature. So I wish Siri was a little more open though, because I would like to not have to use any gestures if I never had to. So Barbara's right. Siri cannot be used to delete apps. So let's go to storage settings. So there are two kinds of storage that we worry about. That's the actual physical storage on your phone, and of course the amount of storage you have in the iCloud. So when you get an iPhone or an iPad and you set it up, Apple gives you 5 gigs of space up there as part of its world, its garden, or what do you want to call it, its ecosystem. And that iCloud is used so you can share things and you can back up your phone up there and all kinds of stuff. So you want to check, especially if you have a low storage situation on the phone and iCloud, you want to check to be sure you're doing okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the phone storage first. That means the unit sitting in your hand, the PC you have in your hand. We're going to do that. And that's under General and Storage. So I'm going to go to Settings and open that up.
Home. Settings. Settings.
Go to General.
Airplane mode. Rows 4 to 13. Notification. Screen. General. Button.
So go to General.
About. Button. iPhone storage.
And it's
Button.
called iPhone Storage. So we go in there. So it's doing.
iPhone. 28.6 gigabytes of 64 gigabytes used.
Okay.
Apps. 21%.
I don't know if you guys heard that. So it said 28 point something gigabytes of my 64 used. So roughly about half of my iPhone is being used. So you're probably saying, whoa, yeah, well, what's in there? What's taking up all that space? Well, a lot of it is just the iOS Apple operating system, but then there's stuff we've added on top of that. And that's what we get to see here. What stuff have we added to it, and how much space is the stuff we added taking? So let's go down. I'm going to swipe down.
iPhone. Recommendations. Heading. Review large attachments. Button.
So if you have a lot of emails with attached, so recommendations, it's saying if you want to save space, review your emails with a lot of attachments, because sometimes we get pictures and sounds and this and that, and these are pretty big, and the Mail app has to actually store those on your phone to render them. So let's keep going with the recommendations. It's just telling you what you can do to minimize the amount of space you're using. And when you got a 64 gig phone like mine, or even 32, and you got like half of it free, space is not a problem. But if you got a smaller phone, or a phone with a smaller amount of space, then it becomes a big issue, because you find yourself running out of space and the phone starts acting weird. But let's go down and see what's using all that space on my phone. So let me keep going.
Save up to 61.2 MB. See podcasts. 3.39 gigabytes. Last used 9/16/20.
So there it's telling me that, see, podcasts, when you listen to podcasts, it actually downloads them as files, so you can listen to them offline. So I've got about 4 gigs of that 28. I got, like 20% of that is just audio files from the internet. Now I can go delete them because I've already heard them. I don't care. And that would take my 28 gigs that I use and bring it down to 25 or 24. So you see how that works. So let's see if there's any other big items here, big ticket items that I could save.
GarageBand, 1.54 gigabytes. Button.
So I must have been playing around in that app and did some kind of audio file. Let's see.
Amazon Music, 925.5 MB. Last use.
So almost a gig there. There's some files downloaded from Amazon Music. And then we'll go one more just to see.
Amazon, 917.7 MB. Bard Mobile, 762 MB.
That's another one. So books, audiobooks, we all love those, but they are kind of fat as far as size. But again, even with all the Bard books that I have downloaded, I still got about 60% free on my phone or more. So I'm never going to fill it up. And if you have a phone like, let's say Maggie's, you can forget it. You can download thousands of books and it'll never fill it up. I mean, it's just that much space. So not a big deal, only if you have a small amount of space left. But this is where you find out what you have left. Now, that's kind of it for the iPhone storage piece. Now, the other one is the iCloud storage. And that's just as important because that is where your backups go. That is where all of your sharing of data is, like, so if you have Keychain, let's say, that's where that stuff goes. So it can be available to all the devices that you have. So I want to go back and look at the iCloud storage, and that's in a different place. So let's go find that.
General, back, general, settings, setting.
All right, so we go to the front door of settings.
Rows 1 to 6 of 90, Manuel Celis.
So you go right into the very first guy, which on your phone will be your name. So you go in there.
Edit.
Then we're going,
Apple ID.
then we're going to iCloud.
iCloud. Button. Storage. Heading.
So storage is the very first thing. So I'm going to swipe to the right and see what's stored there. So let's find that out.
iCloud. 10.2 gigabytes of 50 gigabytes used. Docs, 12%. Photos, 6%. Backups, 2%.
So what it's telling me is that I have 50 gigabytes of iCloud storage. I purchased for $1 a month an extra 45 gigabytes. I'm not even using it, but I am over the 5 that it gives me, that they give me for free. So yeah, if I only had 5, I'd be in big trouble, but I have 50 and I'm using about a fifth of it, about 20% of it. So if I want to see, I think, let me look here. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. I think there's a button here underneath.
Manage storage.
Yeah, there it is.
Button.
Manage storage. So we go in there. So if you wanted to minimize your iCloud usage, you can go in here and
manage storage.
And
iCloud. 10.2 gigabytes of 50 gigabytes used. Docs, 12%.
So-
Share with family. Change storage plan. 50 gigabytes.
so if I wanted to upgrade the plan, I could go here and say, I need to go to 100 gigs, which I don't ever see myself doing for a very long time. So that's where you upgrade. So if you have 5 gigs and you want to go ahead and spend $1 a month to get more storage up there, this is where you would upgrade your plan. And Apple would charge you $1 plus tax each month to do that. So we keep going.
iCloud Drive, 5.7 gigabytes. Button.
So there's iCloud Drive.
Photos, 3.2 gigabytes. Button.
So the iCloud Drive, that's where your backups and things are. So that was 5. My photos are 3 something.
Backups, 1.2 gigabytes.
My phone backups, 1.2. So they all just add up. But again, I'm not in any kind of bad situation here. I've got, 80% free. So I'm good to go. But it's always good to manage your storage and see what's there. You can always get rid of stuff you don't use anymore. Of course, you want to keep your photos. You don't want to get rid of those. But yeah, that's basically it. So the more you conserve, the better the phone runs. But again, if you have this much free space, it doesn't even matter. It's just when it's the other way, when you have 80 to 90% used and you got 10% free, that's when things start acting funny on your phone. So Any questions on storage? Or are we okay? Okay. Did I hear somebody? Okay. All right. So another Siri thing where you don't need to touch the phone at all is sending email and text messages. So I'm going to use Patty as the person I'm going to send these to, just so you can hear how it's done. So if I want to send Patty a text message, I don't have to open up messages, compose, or go to a message and open it up, a conversation and open it up, and then type something in or dictate there. I could just tell Siri to do it. So if I want to send a text to Patty, this is how I would do it. I go, hey Siri, text Chica Green. Of course. Yeah, take your time.
She will.
Working on that. What do you want to say?
Hey Patty, comma, this is Manny, period. How are you doing? Question mark.
Your message to Chica says, hey, Patty, this is Manny. How are you doing? Ready to send it?
Add.
Okay. Go ahead.
Hey, comma, if you can read this, comma, you are too close, exclamation mark.
Your message to Chica says, hey, Patty, this is Manny. How are you doing, hey? If you can read this, you are too close. Ready to send it?
Change.
Okay. Go ahead.
Hello there, exclamation mark.
Your message to Chica says, hello there. Ready to send it?
Yes.
Okay, it's sent.
So did you hear what I did there? I asked Siri to send Patty a message, a text message. And I dictated the first thing, and then I used the add keyword. And what it does when you say add is it puts it at the end of what you've already dictated in there. And then I went and said change. And if I say change, it overwrites everything I just did in favor of the new thing I'm dictating. And then it'll repeat it back to me. And then do you want to send it? And I said yes. I could also say no or cancel. And that is how you send a text message without having to open the phone up or type on it or go through the whole 2-finger thing to dictate and all that stuff. You can just have Siri do it for you. And then the same thing applies to email. The only difference is with email is that you have to specify a subject. So I'll do this. Hey Siri, new email to Chica Green.
Sorry, I can't help with that.
Hang on a second. She's so embarrassing.
50%.
Hang on. Hey Siri, email Chica Green.
Sorry, I can't help with that.
All right, so it's making a liar out of me.
Settings.
Hey Siri,
Double tap.
create new email for Chica Green.
Sorry, I can't help with that.
All right, Siri's having a bad, but trust me, that works. I'm gonna have to reset my phone. So
Calendar.
what
Tuesday.
it is, I'll go through this. I'm gonna reset while I'm talking. So what it is you would
Call.
tell Siri,
Slide to power up.
you would tell Siri to email somebody, just like you would say text somebody, okay? And then it's going to say, what is the subject of your email? And then you would state your subject. And then it would say, what is the message to whoever you're sending it to? And then you would dictate that message. And then at the end of the dictation, she will repeat the subject and the message back to you. And you can do things like, you can tell it, when it asks, do you want to send it? You could say, change title. or change subject in this case. And then you could redo the subject. You could say change, and that will change the body of the message, or you can do add to add to the body of the message. And then it'll finally ask you if you want to send it. And then at that point, you would say yes or no. All right. So let's
7:50 p.m.
let's try this again.
Your passcode is required.
Oh, yeah.
1 3 5 7 9 0.
Okay. All right. Don't write that down, by the way. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Wake up. Hey Siri. Email Chica Green.
On it.
But she's being slow tonight.
Yeah, your internet's low.
Sorry, I can't help with that.
Well, trust me, it works. I've done it a zillion times. I'm having technical difficulties with Siri, probably because I have the meeting going and I have an Alexa device here, and there's sunspots or whatever else I can think of right now. So anyway, let me try one more time just for fun because
Tuesday.
it's bugging me now. Hey Siri. Email Chica Green.
Sorry, I can't help with that.
Okay. Well, just trust me on that.
Calendar. Tuesday, September 21st.
Oh boy. Okay. So like the text message, that normally works. So let's keep going. Let's
Manny,
questions.
Manny?
Yeah.
What were you doing with reset?
What I did is I reset it because I haven't reset my phone in a long time, which is a bad thing because sometimes it just gets out of whack. It's a wacky. I don't know how to explain it. Computers have to be reset every once in a while, or they don't work properly.
Mine hasn't been reset for a long time, so talk about it, please.
Yeah. So what I do is if I see funny behaviors like this, where I know it works, I know that I've done it this way in the past, then I go, oh, this is not me. This is something going on over here. So that triggers my mind to say, okay, I need to reset this thing. Obviously, there's something wrong here. And 9 times out of 10, that'll fix the problem. I think I might be having a low internet situation right now because I'm on DSL, a slow DSL connection, slower than a cable connection. And I got a lot of devices on it right now, including this video meeting. So I think it's affecting my phone.
Mhm.
So I think, so to answer your question, I just press and hold the power button until the shutdown option comes on. And then I double tap that and then it shuts down. I let it stay out for about 15, 20 seconds. Then I press and hold the power button again, and then it will power on in about 5 seconds, and then it'll just go through the whole boot up sequence. And normally that'll fix most problems on the phone. So,
All right, will you say that again?
so you mean it for resetting your phone? How to
Yes,
do it?
reset,
Okay, yeah.
You press and hold the power button.
Yeah, there's a button on if you hold the phone up in portrait with the screen facing you, it's going to be the button on the upper right side, depending on what model of phone you have. So you press and hold. You have to press and hold it for a few seconds. And then you're going to get the screen that says shut down. And then you just put your finger on that, double tap, and then it'll shut down. And then after 15 or 20 seconds after it's shut down, you can then do the same thing. Press and hold that power button yet again for about 3 to 5 seconds, and then let it go, and then it'll boot up. You'll see a little Apple symbol. If you have any sight at all, you'll see an Apple symbol. Otherwise, you'll have to wait for VoiceOver to kick in when it boots up. So, and I would.
So
After you
basically,
shut it down,
so basically,
you wait about 20 seconds and then you hold the power button again.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 20, if you
So
want to wait a whole
basically, all
minute.
your,
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
oh, sorry, but, okay, so basically, are you just saying that you're just turning your phone off and leaving it off for a few seconds and then turning it back on?
That's correct, yeah.
Is that what you're doing? Yeah, you're
Yeah.
just turning it off and on. Okay,
That fixes more
got it.
errors
Thank you.
you can imagine. That fixes a lot of stuff sometimes. Barbara can attest to it. In our classes, we've had to reset devices a lot. Whether it's JAWS, whether it's the iPhone, doesn't even matter. And my house here, my Windows and Mac computers, they both need to get reset once in a while when they start weird. They're computers and they're not perfect, So yeah, that's kind of the way you do that. And and like I said, that will be in the notes, by the way. So
Good.
what I told you, I will make a very explicit notes on how to do that. So step by step kind of thing. So
Thank you. My first computer, I had to unplug it.
you take a
Uh-oh.
bat to it or something.
I
So
unplugged it, let it set for a little bit, plug it back in, and it unfreezes.
yeah. So the next thing on my list, if there's no more questions
Manny,
about,
You
go
were,
ahead. Yeah.
you were gonna show Gina how to forward text messages.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, let me do that now. So Gina, are you there still?
7:50.
I'm still here.
Okay. So let's define our terms. So when you send a text message, okay, that is really a piece of what we call a conversation. So let me explain this real quick. I'm going to open up my messages thing here. Let me do that.
Doc. Messages. One on messages. Filters. Back.
So on the very top of my messages, well, when you open up messages, it's not really showing you messages. It's showing you a list of they call them conversations, okay? Because when you open something up, you have a bubble of stuff you said, and then you have bubbles of stuff that other people have said in a long list. And though that's called a conversation. Now, you can't forward a conversation as far as I know. There might be some third-party tools to do it, but out of the box, what Apple provides, I don't think you can forward a whole, I could be wrong on that though. I'd have to do more research, but what I do know is you can forward a particular message in the conversation. So let's say, I want to open this first one up here.
Conversations. Chica Green.
So we'll go in there.
Unread. Messages. Chica Green. More.
All right, so I'm going to go down to her last one to me, or mine to her. I think mine to her. Let's see.
Messages. Your iMessage. Hello there.
So
7:47 p.m.
that was the one I dictated in front of you folks earlier. So you pick one of the bubbles, which is the actual message itself. And then you can swipe up or down with one finger. And I think it's under more, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just try.
More.
Yeah, there's more.
Messages.
Mm.
Your iMessage. Hello there. 7:47 p.m. Chica Green. Vertical scroll bar. Toolbar. Messages. Selected. Your
Try
selected.
that again.
More. Copy. Reply. React. Activate. More.
So what is it doing?
Chica Green. I am a TMC. 326
Let's see.
selected.
Sorry.
Your iMessage. Chica Green. More.
Yeah, it's acting funny.
Copy. More.
Let's try it again.
Selected. Your iMessage. Hello. More. Copy. Reply. React. Activate. More. Activate. Your iMessage. Hello there. More.
Well, it's not working properly. I don't know what's going on with my phone tonight. I must be having some weird stuff going on. But the way that works,
Okay.
sorry, what you do is you
all
swipe
right.
up on the piece, and I apologize. I don't know what's happening. I've done this before. So I swipe up and I choose more. When more comes up, one of the options in there is to forward. And I just choose that. And then it asks me, who do I want to forward it to? Then it forwards that little piece, that little message to the person. So
Okay.
yeah, I apologize. I don't know why my stuff's not working properly. I guess so. My luck is not good tonight. But that's how you do it. And
That's
I'll
all right.
explain. I'm going to
That's the
verify it
idea. Okay.
before I do the notes. So sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
But that's the way it's done for sure. I promise you. So I'm
Okay, I just wanted a general idea, and that's what you gave me, and that's great.
Yeah.
I think that'll work.
now I want to.
Okay.
The next thing I wanted to go over was Uber and Lyft, and I'm scared because of when it was going to work. So what I'm going to do. One of the things that Barbara asked me to show you guys, because we've gone over Uber and Lyft before on how to book rides, but there's two things that we really should focus on tonight relative to these ride sharing apps. And one is what happens if it puts the wrong address in for where you're at, the pickup point. And that's happened to Barbara a few times. So you have to go in and then you have to change the address. So I'm going to go into Lyft and I'm going to do a pretend booking. And then we'll pretend that my GPS is off and I got to adjust my pickup point. Then we'll book the ride and then we'll cancel the ride. I'm going to get in there and cancel the ride immediately. Now, my understanding of how that works as far as charges are concerned, at least with Uber, what I know is that if you book a ride and then you want to cancel, you can cancel up to, what was it? I think 2 minutes after the driver picks it up. And then if you do it within a 2-minute window, my understanding is, of course this could change, is that you won't be charged for that ride. After 2 minutes, they'll charge you something. But to be perfectly honest with you, if you complain or if you say that you contest the charge, they usually just wipe it out because they really take your side on a lot of things, which they should, since they're depending on us to use our service. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to try to go into Lyft and let's see what kind of trouble I can get into there. So let me see here. So I'm going to open up Lyft.
Lyft. Where to? 8:02 p.m. Status bar item.
Okay. So just like before, this first part's going to be a review. So I'm not trying to drown you guys in this whole thing yet again, but I'm going to pick where I'm going to go. So let me just do that first. I'll skip all of the detailed, everything you got to do. I'm just going to go find the address by using a swipe left to right. So we'll do that.
Home. 88 N Rayburn PL.
All right, that's a good
Tucson.
place. Let's try
Basic
that.
85,000. Home. Mode selection screen. Navigate up to find trip options. Navigate down to find selected. Wait and save. You will need to wait up to 25 minutes. $6.89. Pick up between 3 and 8.
I'm going to use their wait and save option. And then I'm going to confirm that. So at the very bottom of the screen, if you remember from our previous notes, there's a button down there where you confirm. And this is what it sounds like. I'm going to put my finger right on it.
Select wait and save. Very few drivers available.
Okay,
Button.
so we'll do that.
Alert.
So
Are you sure? Heading.
whenever you hear an alert, when it says alert, that means there's like a message box sitting up on top of the app that you got to respond to, like a modal message box that you got to say yay or nay or cancel or continue, whatever it says. So the way you hear what that says is you do a swipe left to right. So I'm going to do that.
There are very few drivers available right now, so you may not get a ride. Confirm. Button.
So I can confirm, or if I keep going, or I can cancel it right now. I'm going to confirm it since we're doing this. So.
Confirm. Button. Alert.
Oh.
Windows down. Mask up. Heading.
So I got another alert. I don't know if you guys heard that. It said alert yet again. So that's my second alert. And this one's talking about all of the COVID-based stuff. So we're going to go through that.
Black circle, leave windows open whenever possible. Continue. Button.
Will it continue?
Confirm pickup location screen. Heading.
Now here's where I do where they're going to pick me up. So let's see what address is in there right now. So I'm going to just skip right down to it because I can kind of see it a little bit. So I'm just going to skip all the other stuff here. Wait, where are you? Right there?
Confirm pickup spot. Location. 8219 Yarborough Point PL. Button. Text field.
So that,
Double tap to edit.
if that was the wrong address, if you heard it say button, that means you can click on that and change the pickup spot. So I'm just gonna go in there and act like I'm gonna change it. So let's say, go in there.
Location. 8219 Yarborough Point. Pickup location. Pickup location. Search field. Is editing. 8219 Yarborough Point PL selected. Character mode.
So it automatically
Double
puts in,
tap to edit.
Yeah.
Actions available.
it automatically puts in the address it thinks I'm at using GPS. So what I want to do is I got to clear that address out first, okay, and then put in the address that I want. So when you do that, you got to go left to right swipe on this box, and I think there's a clear right next to it. Let me see.
Clear. Button.
So I clear that out, the current
Double tap
address.
to clear text. Clear.
Then I'll just I'll find another address under here for now. I mean, it doesn't matter which address we put in, just as long as I can change it. So down below the box, there's going to be some addresses. So I'm going to put my finger on one of those. I think maybe. No, yeah.
Home. 88 N Rayburn PL. Pickup location. Clear. Work. Button. Home. 88 vertical scroll bar.
Oh.
Home. Work. Button.
So I'm just going to
Tap
pick
to set
work.
pickup.
I don't know what that means.
Search field. Is editing. Enter. Character mode.
So
Insertion point.
I'm just going to put in an address. I'm going to dictate an address in. So let me do that right now.
Empty list. Search field. Is editing. Enter at
98, wait,
address. Character mode.
9862 East Creek Street.
Inserted 9862 East Creek Street.
Now that's what I dictated in, but it doesn't like that because it needs to resolve it to the city and the zip code. So if this is a valid address, there's going to be possible guys underneath. So I'm going to swipe with my finger to go down to that list and pick the correct one because I don't want it to be somewhere in Ohio. I got to be sure it's here in Tucson. So let me just do that.
9862 E Creek Street. 9862 E Creek Street. Tucson, AC.
Hey,
States. Button.
So that Tucson AZ United States means it found it. So I'm going to use that as the address they're going to pick me up from. So I'm going to do that.
9000. Loading 0%.
Yeah, my internet's slow. It usually doesn't take this long. So I think that's what's causing my issues before. And I got to figure out a way to fix that for next time. So let's see what we got here.
Pickup location. Current location. Search field. Clear. Home. 88 N Ray. Edit shortcut. Button. Home. 88 current writer. Change pickup location. Current location. Search field. Clear. Home. 88 N Rayburn. Edit shortcut. Work.
Anyway,
9862 E Creek Street. Work. Your confirm pickup location screen. Heading.
so now let's see what it looks like.
Your new price is $9.59.
Of course, it
This is
upgrades the
most-
price because this address is further away than my address. So it changes the price. So now, so if I wanted to do this,
Your new price is $9 location. 9862 E Creek Street. Button.
and of
Text
course,
field.
with Lyft, you can also
Double tap to add notes or drive.
add the note. So I can say, like what Barbara does on hers, you know, blind with cane or whatever it is that helps the driver identify you, especially if you're in a crowd. But since we're in a residential place, I'm the only one standing outside, so no problem. So I'm going to book this ride, but then I'm going to show you how to cancel it immediately because I don't want to book the ride, obviously. but I want to show you how to cancel the ride. So now the button at the bottom here, right after the notes to the driver, is this.
Confirm and request button.
Once I press that, I'm telling Lyft that I want the ride. So then I have to go cancel. So here we go. I'm going to try to book the ride now.
Confirm and request button. Matching nearby driver banner. Your driver is looking out for you.
Okay. So that's a bunch of junk we talked about.
Menu button.
So
Cancel.
we're going to look. Go ahead.
Cancel, cancel.
Cancel.
Yeah, I'm going to go cancel it now. So the button is going to be down here. I'm going to show you what it's called.
Your phone will vibrate when your driver's on the vibration. Get there at 8:46. Edit ride button.
It's called Edit Ride.
Now, your driver will be there in 14 minutes. Share ride details.
So we're going to edit
Let
ride.
someone know where your phone will vibrate when your driver banner. Let arriving in driver rated license plate. Your phone will vibration. Edit ride button.
Edit ride,
Edit ride.
I think.
Safety 2. Edit ride button. Edit ride.
So it's not letting me do anything.
Page 2 of 3. Banner. Let someone know where you are. You can share your location. 83 cents saved. Check out how much. Keep saving with arriving in banner. Let's destination. Add a stop. Menu. But keep saving with wait. Page 3 of 3. Arriving in 14-minute destination. 88 add stop. Payment. No payment. Add stop. Destinate. Pickup. Trip. 83 cents. Check out how much. Keep saving with share ride. Contact your driver. Safety tools. Edit ride. Button. Oh,
Okay, here it is.
cancel ride.
So we're going to cancel the ride. Now there's other options. You can add stops. We're going to cancel it.
Cancel ride. Button alert. Tammy is the closest driver. Are you sure you want to cancel? Cancel ride. Button. Loading. Safety 2. Alert. Ride canceled.
Okay, so that's how you cancel. So I don't like to do that because sometimes they come real quick like this, you know, and with Uber, it's even worse. It's like they almost pick up immediately. So, but they work the same way. On Uber, you have a button at the bottom. I think it's behind the picture of the driver. You tap on that and then you just cancel the ride just like this. And
Randy,
no one's
the
act-
button is the very last thing on the bottom of the screen.
That's right. That's right. So you get the idea. You can book the ride and cancel the ride, and you won't get penalized for that. But if you book the ride and you cancel it, you know, past a certain threshold of time, they will assess a charge. It won't be the full ride charge, but it'll be like $5 or I don't know. I don't know what they rated. Yeah.
It's $5.
Yeah. So that's kind of how you cancel a ride. And Uber works exactly the same way. The buttons is just a different place, you know. But I just wanted to show you that you can cancel the ride.
Okay, but it's not edit a ride.
On this
That
one,
was the wrong button, wasn't it?
it was edit ride. It just wasn't coming up. I'm having some weird problems with my phone tonight. So I went back down and up again, and then I pressed it, and it did come up with the options. So I'm having some weirdo stuff going on with my phone. But I
Okay,
did.
but normally it comes up cancel ride. It doesn't come up with edit ride, does it?
Well, on the Lyft app, it's edit ride. Because when you hit the edit ride, then you get a list. You can cancel it, you can add stops, you can do this thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the thing is, once I got the edit button to bring me the list up, show me the list, then we were good. I just hit cancel. And then I had to confirm the cancel. And that was it. So normally these guys don't pick up for like 15 minutes when I'm on wait and save. But this guy picked up right away. I mean, I couldn't believe it. Just my luck. But we got it canceled in time. So it's no problem. So any questions on canceling a ride, or do we want to steer clear from this subject?
Apps with Lyft. Active.
So
Messages.
for Uber, again, like I said before, hang on.
Sunback. Closing Sunback.
So like I said, once the driver picks up, and this is Uber, I don't really know the thing on Lyft, but I think it's similar. So after the driver picks up, you have 2 minutes. if the driver comes to pick you up, they have either 2 minutes or 5 minutes before they can just drive away and charge you $5. I don't know if it's 2 or 5 minutes, but they have a little bit of time that they can wait too. So, yeah, just be careful. You know.
Manny?
Yeah.
What I do is I call the driver and tell him that I'm legally blind and I can't see, and he'll have to let me know that he's there so I can, proceed to the car.
That's a good thing. That's some of the other buttons that are on here besides the edit ride. There's a contact driver or text driver, and then you could either call or text, and like you said, let that driver know. The more information you give the driver, the better off you are, because especially if you're visually impaired, because the driver can see you, but you can't see them. And if you're in a busy place like Walmart, my gosh, how do you know? Oh, so yes, very good point. Okay, so if there's no more questions about the ride stuff, we'll head down to our next guy, which is on the next page. And what is that? Okay, that is okay. I've kind of been wanting to show you guys this. So that's what that is. So how many of you guys have those smart speakers, those Echo speakers from Amazon? Does anybody have those dots or the shows or whatever? I know Barbara does. I know Patty does. Okay.
I have a dot.
I do.
Annie has a dot.
Okay, so for those of you who
I
do
have
not,
a,
for those
I
of you
have
who
an
do
Echo
not have,
Show.
they look like this. They look like a big hockey puck with a cable in it, and mine's a third generation. It's a black one, and I can say my wake word for mine is not the A lady, it's Echo. So I'm gonna try it. Say, Echo, what time is it?
The time is 8:16 p.m.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Okay, so what I wanted to show you with this today is to show you what the unit looks like for those of you who don't have it. And here's an accessory here. For those of you who can see, I have what's called a smart plug. And I'm putting it in front of the camera. Basically what it is, on one side, you have the part that plugs into the wall. You have the two bladed pieces and then the ground for the American 110 volt AC connection. And then you have the plug part itself. So this part plugs into the wall. It then turns on and then it talks to this thing. Okay, so I'm going to plug mine in. Okay. And I'm plugging a light into it too. All right, that. Okay. So now I have in one hand, well, let me switch hands here. So I got both hands full, and I wanted to show you how these plugs work. So I have a little light bulb that's hooked to that smart outlet, smart plugs. Now, I can tell this device to turn that thing on or off. So I'm going to have it in front of me. I have both hands on the device. I'm not hitting a switch or anything. So here we go. So Echo, turn on front door light.
Okay.
And then it turns it on. And then now I'm going to tell it to turn it off. Echo, turn off front door light.
Okay.
So that's what it does. It allows you to control electrical appliances via your voice. And I just wanted to show a demonstration of that. This could be a radio, this could be a light, this could be anything that's electric. And that thing will work with just your voice. And for those of you who could see, you should have saw a light come on and then go off when I told it to turn it off. So I just wanted to show you that. And it does much more than that, but that's just how a smart plug works if you wanted to outfit your home with smart plugs. And those usually come in 2 or 4 packs. So, you can hook them up anywhere. And what I do for them is I use them for lights. And the reason I'm even bringing it up is because on your phone, you have the same app. you have the
8:19 p.m.
A Lady app. And if I'm away from home and I want to turn my lights on before I get there, I can use my app. And I want to show you that.
Seeing AI.
Let me find it.
Page 2 of 3. FaceTime. Amazon Alexa.
Okay. So we're going to go in there. I'm going to grab my light again. I just put it down, but let me get it. Okay. Now, with the app, the A Lady app, it's not going to talk very much here because for some reason it stifles the voice, but I'm going to go into my devices, which is a tab on the bottom. And then I'm going to go into lights. And then I am going to turn this light on just by pressing the button. I could also do it with my voice on this too, like I did with the device. But if I turn it on like that, and it turns it on, and then I can turn it off with my phone as well. And it turns it off. So when you're away from your home and you want to turn your lights on or a radio or something, you can then control these electrical appliances, these light bulbs, these radios, whatever you got, via your phone, via the app on your phone. So that's kind of what I wanted to show you guys tonight, that it's just one little piece of a big world. And, and then I've seen Patty use the camera on her show. Like she'll check in on her home and hear sounds and see things and all kinds of crazy stuff. So it's a very good investment if you like that kind of stuff. So
Manny, you can use it
Yeah.
to call up your Echo, and you can have it play the flash briefing. You can have it play music.
that's right. Yeah. And I think what I'm gonna do is maybe the next class we'll talk about the flash briefing and some news item things, just to give you a different aspect of this app, because it does work from your phone as well, so it does fold into our voiceover training. And I think having these two devices together gives you a lot of options, so that's kind of where I was at on that.
Switch.
Any
Amazon
questions on
Alexa.
that?
Closing Amazon Alexa.
So these, oh, by the way, and then these plugs, let me get the plug. These plugs, the one I showed you before, you can get these at Amazon. They're between $5 and $10 each. They come in a package of 2 or 4. There is a little configuration thing you do when you first get them, but it's not too painful. It's a little bit painful, but once you get them configured, they're there for you to use, to turn off lights or turn on things. So they're really nifty and neat, and they're real small, real compact. So they're not really big at all. I say they're the size of a 50-cent piece and about 1 inch thick with the AC plugs on the back of it. So there's that. All right, let me see what's next on my list here. The Echo Dot. Okay, so I don't know if we've talked about the rotor too much on the phone. That's a more complex gesture, but it's something that you should be very, very aware of, something that you can use not only to change the speaking rate of voiceover, but you can use it to parse words. So let me go in and show you how to do that.
8:23 p.m.
So what I'm going to do,
Calendar. Tuesday, September 21st.
I'm going to go into messages.
Doc. Messages.
And I'm going to open up
Messages.
this one.
Conversations. Chica Green. Messages. Chica Good message.
And I'm going to dictate a one sentence in there. And I'm going to show you how you can use the rotor to navigate between words and characters. So I'm going to do a real simple sentence, like 3 words, so you can hear what it is. So let me do that now. I'm going to double tap on it.
Message.
See spot run, period.
Inserted C spot run.
Now, If I wanted to edit that instead of dictating it over again, the rotor allows me to navigate by word or by character. So I'm going to do the rotor gesture and I'm going to look for word, or I'm going to listen for word. So let me do that
Words.
right there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to swipe up or down to navigate by word. So I'm at the end. I just dictated it, so it's right after the period. So let's swipe up.
Run period.
Run period.
Spot.
Spot.
C.
C. And if I want to go the other way by word, and then I swipe down. So C.
C. Spot. Run period.
So what if I wanted to change spot to Manny? And you can do this with just your ears. So this is where the power of this comes in. Okay. So what you want to do, you want to navigate to the word spot. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go up.
Run period. Spot.
Okay. So now I'm on the word spot. Now I want to get to the end of that word. I'm at the beginning right now, but I got to get to the end. So I got to go to my rotor and I got to go by characters now because I want to go character by character to the end of the word spot. So I'm going to do that.
Speaking rate. Containers. Headings. Typing mode. Misspelled words. Mentions. Characters.
The characters. So we're going to go there.
Space. Space. S. P. O. T.
So I'm at T. Let me see if I got one more.
Space. R. R. Space. T.
Okay.
T.
So what I would do once I get to the
Tango.
end of the word, what I want to do is I want to just delete the word spot. So I'll just hit my delete key.
T. O. P. S.
And then I will dictate Manny in its place. Manny.
Inserted many.
Now, if I just want to hear the whole thing again, I'll retouch the place that I'm typing it in, the little text box, which is right above here. So I'll touch it again.
Message. Text field. Is editing. See Manny run. Character mode.
And that's how you
Insertion
edit.
point between.
That's how you edit text with the rotor. If you wanted to go in and edit something, you use the rotor to go to words, and then you use the single finger swipe up or down to navigate by word. Then when you get to the word that you want to change, then you can go to the rotor again and go to characters, and then you can navigate to the end of the word if you want to delete it, or you can go to the one character that might be wrong. Instead of spot, could be something else, and you change the O to an I or whatever, spat or whatever. You could change it just one character at a time. And this is really good to practice your gestures and learn how to navigate with gestures. I like to dictate. That's my thing, but this is another way. And that's what I wanted to show you with the rotor. And the rotor allows you to do like with navigation. So let's say, let me go to Safari.
Safari. Format options. Button. Search Amazon.
Okay, I'm in
Text.
Amazon. So Amazon, they're pretty good. So they kind of organize their site by headings. So instead of going one by one through a zillion things and links and menus and whatnot, you can navigate by a less granular way by going to just headings on the site and use the rotor to do that too. So and the rotor changes its menu options depending on where you're at. So now I'm going to have headings in that menu and links and stuff like that. So let me do the rotor and we're going to look for headings. Let me do that now.
Characters.
Characters.
Words. Lines. Speaking rate. Containers. Headings.
Headings.
6
So-
headings.
So I picked headings and automatically it told me how many headings are in the site. So I know that I'll have a maximum of 6 swipes either way to go from the top of the site to the bottom of the site with the headings. So I'm going to do that now.
Heading not found.
Okay, I'm at the beginning. So let me go down.
Deal of the day. Heading frequently reordered items related. What did you think of the item? More items to explore. Buy it again. Related to items you heading not found.
So when you get to where it says heading not found, that means you hit the bottom. So once you find the heading you like, you can then start swiping left to right to go below item by item. You can also navigate by links. So if I go up and instead of headings, I use links, we can do that too.
Links.
So we can do that.
83 links.
So it's 83 links. So that's a lot of swipes. We're not going to do all of them, but you get the point. I'm going to go up.
Seymour and Matt, EcoSmart, Swipper Sweeper Wicklow, Pilot the Better Ballpoint Pen Filtrete 20x
Go the other way.
25x1, Filtrete 2033 to Pilot the.
So the idea, and these two examples, is you find the rotor setting, then you swipe up or down with one finger to do the navigation. And that works everywhere. And if you're in a notes app, or if you're in Safari, or if you're in some other thing, it all works the same. So I kind of wanted to show you that rotor thing and how you can replace words and things. So, because it's kind of a neat little way to do this without a keyboard. I mean, it's not efficient. Don't get me wrong. Keyboards are way more efficient. But if you're on a phone and you're doing this, it's kind of a neat way to get into just one word and just fix it real quick. So, any questions on the rotor gesture or what I went over here? Okay. All right, so
Safari. App
close
messages.
that, close
Closing
that.
messages.
So
Safari.
let me see what's on our
Double
list
tap.
here. That was the rotor. Okay, we have something that I came up with this week, and I guess I was the last one to get the memo. Certain items that you order from Amazon, like personal items, like what comes to mind? Band roll-on, okay, or things of that nature, things, personal items, not electronics, not things like that. You can have them put you on what's called a subscription kind of thing. And what that means is that instead of ordering it every time you need it, you can tell them to send it to you every so often, like every week, every month, every few months. And what they'll do, let's say if you like band deodorant, okay, and you need it like every month, you could set it up to where Amazon automatically ships you that stuff every month. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because when you're ordering stuff like that, like personal items that you need to replace, often, Amazon will automatically, when you're looking for the item and you go into its detail, it'll automatically select a subscription option. And what you want to do is, if you just want to buy it one time, you got to be sure and go right above the subscription option. It's like a radio button. There's two radio buttons. One says subscription and one says one-time purchase. Make sure you go up to one-time purchase and you select that radio button. Then it will be like if you're ordering electronics or anything else. It'll just have add to cart or buy it now. Whereas if you leave it on subscription, you got to fill out a bunch of stuff saying how often you want it, this and that, and then you get a price break if you order like for so many months. They give you so much % off. But it's just something I came onto this week, and I wanted to let you guys know.
Well, the problem with the subscription is the add to cart button doesn't come up. That's why you have to do the one time.
Right. So she's right, and it's good if you want them to supply it and you don't have to worry about it. Well, great. But if you just want to buy it one time, you always got to remember that there's a one time only or one thing only, whatever they call it. You got to make sure that is selected so that your buttons show up, your add to cart button shows up, or whatever it is. So in case you ever in there and that happens, you'll know. Just remember this class. They say, oh yeah, I need to do the one time only, and then things will work just fine. So that's what I wanted to say about the Amazon thing. So any questions about that, or are we pretty clear? Okay. All right, so let me go down to the next thing. So okay, so what's that? So one thing that a lot of my students have problems with are gestures. So there's a thing called Voiceover Practice, and there's many ways to open that up. You can do a real hard gesture, like 4 fingers 4 times or whatever it is, or you can just open up the voiceover settings and push on the voiceover practice button. That's really up to you. I'm going to do it the second way because even me, I have a hard time coordinating 4 fingers 4 times or whatever that gesture is. It's something like that. It's some crazy gesture. So the way you, and what it does before I go further, it allows you to practice swiping and tapping and double tapping, and it'll tell you when it recognizes it and what it does. So let me demonstrate. So let me go in there.
8:35 p.m.
So I go in there.
Calendar, Tuesday.
Hopefully Siri will do what I want. Hey Siri, open voiceover settings. And on it. Yeah, take your
Still
time.
on it.
Still
Here are
on
the
it.
voiceover settings.
Okay. Okay.
Settings, accessibility, back button.
So we're in voiceover. We're gonna navigate quickly down to the button where this lives. So we'll just go down the list.
Voiceover, on. Voiceover, tap one, double tap, learn more. Voiceover practice, button.
So right at the top, there's a thing called voiceover practice button. I'm gonna double tap with 1 finger on that.
Voiceover practice, heading.
So what the screen looks like, if I could describe it to you, is you have a title on top that says voiceover practice, and then you have a done button at the upper right. And then the rest of the is the play area. So once you start playing in the area, once you touch the screen, it's going to start identifying what you do and tell you what it does. So, for example, we just do this.
Practice voiceover gestures, commands, and typing in this area. Select the done button in the top right corner and double tap to exit.
Okay, so just what I just said. So I'm going to swipe up with 1 finger. Let's see what it says.
1 finger swipe up. Previous rotor item.
Okay, and then down.
1 finger swipe down. Next rotor item.
We'll do a tap.
Touch. Speak item.
We'll do a double tap.
1 finger double tap. Activate.
And the ones that are really hard are these swipes. Because what people tend to do with the phone is they try to come down first and then swipe over. And that's 2 gestures. Watch, I'll demonstrate that.
Touch. Speak
Okay.
item. 1 finger swipe right. Move to next item.
So what you got to do with swiping, whether it's up or down or right, you want to do like an arcing motion. You don't want to come down and then over. You want to just come hit the screen, swiping to the right or to the left or up or down like this. I'll exaggerate it. I'll do it flat for those people can see. You just come down like this and then up, down and up. Very exaggerated motion. So if you do it like that, it sounds like this.
1 finger swipe right. 1 finger swipe left. Move 1 finger swipe down. 1 finger swipe up. Previous rotor item.
And then you can do a rotor gesture to test that out.
2 finger rotate clockwise. Next rotor. 2 finger rotate clockwise. Next rotor. 2 finger rotate counterclockwise. Previous rotor.
So that's great for practicing gestures. And there are all kinds of gestures. And then when you're done, you just drag your finger up to the upper right and find that done button.
Touch. Done. Button.
Double tap it. And then you're out.
Voiceover practice.
You're back to the previous screen. That is a very good screen for practicing. It really will help you if you put a little time in on that, especially if you're doing a lot of gestures. So, and that's kind of where that lives. That lives in voiceover settings and then voiceover practice.
Ugh.
All right, so let's see. Let me see what else we got here. We're gonna have to move Sunvent to the next time, and I promise that my phone will be acting better by then.
Did you want to go over accessibility on how to turn on audio description?
Oh yeah, that's in here. Let me just skip to that. I had a few other things, but let me skip to that. You're right. So let's do that. All right, so my very last item I have on here is accessibility settings. So under in the front door settings and accessibility, you have a thing called audio descriptions. And just like the name says, if you're watching some content, whatever it is, and there is a secondary audio description track, if that is set to on, that track will play. It will play along with whatever it is. So that's what that is. And again, that's in settings, accessibility, audio description. It's an on-off switch. And then what is the other one? The other thing that I saw for hearing impaired folks, you can control, let's say if you have really bad hearing in one ear and better hearing in the other ear, which happens a lot. You know, what you can do is you can take stereo signals on the phone, which has different content on each speaker, and you can make those into mono. And that means both ears will hear everything all the same. It won't be spatially separated, but you'll be able to hear everything that's going on. And then furthermore, you can adjust the balance. Let's say if you have a weaker ear, but you want that ear to have a little more volume than the ear that's stronger, you can adjust the balance of the phone to compensate, and then you'll be hearing equal levels in both ears. And that's done in the audio visual section of accessibility. And it's a real handy thing, especially if you have hearing aids. It'll help you out there. And let me see what else. Oh, then there's this thing. Let me see what I wrote down here. Oh, there's two more things here I wrote down. So there's the phone noise cancellation. So what that does is if you're talking on the phone and there's a lot of noise around you, like a TV in the background or something, the phone will do its best to isolate your voice and minimize the background noise so that your voice is clear. And then it'll also try to clean up the signal coming into you so that what you hear is clear. So it's a real handy feature to turn on if you're having trouble hearing the phone. And then
So is that under accessibility?
yes, under accessibility and a thing called audio visual, it's right in there. It's called phone noise cancellation. The other piece that I thought might be germane to us is like if you ever, I don't know if people with hearing aids actually use headphones, but there's a function in the phone that monitors how much volume you're pumping through a headphone, and it warns you that you could hurt your hearing if you do it for too long. That's called headphone notification, some kind of headphone notification. Anyway, if the volume is too much for too long, it'll warn you and tell you, hey, you should turn it down or stop using headphones, because sometimes people have them real loud and it can really hurt your hearing. So I wanted to touch a little bit on the hearing side of things, and maybe next time I'll do some reachability stuff, help out there. So, and that I think is kind of what I had outside the sun ban. Well, I had mass deleting of junk mail. Do we have time to go over that one, or what do you think, Barbara?
Oh, I think we're done.
Okay. I'll save it for next time. Sorry it took so long, and I'm sorry for the problems that I had. So,
Ask
So
if there's
the-
any other questions.
what's that?
See if anybody else has any other questions.
Yeah, please. Anybody with questions, I'm ready to go. Whatever
Try
you.
again.
Sorry, my phone keeps talking. Okay. Put you over here out of the way. So no questions? That means everybody understood everything. So everybody's going to make 100 on the test. I'm doing a pop quiz.
Yes, we are.
All right. Well, great. I really enjoyed it tonight outside of my little technical difficulties. And I hope get that Sunvan app demoed for you, because I was pretty excited about that. I wanted to show you that tonight. So I'm kind of bummed that it didn't work. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
John,
Okay, sounds good.
John,
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll kill the recording.
Thank you, John.